Well, hello everybody. It's Pete here with the Wyoming Way. Thanks for tuning back into the channel. I hate to be in this position making a video, but I really have no choice. As you can see, I've had somewhat of a mishap here on the ranch. And I want to get into that and explain what happened and why I'm in this situation. And I wanted to just give you all an update of what's going on the ranch right now, and maybe play you a song and just speak a little bit about what's on my mind lately. But I guess the first thing to get into is the leg. What happened to the leg? Well, the leg is broken. I broke my leg about 3 or 4 days ago, and I still can't believe it happened. And it was not a work-related accident. It was a pleasure related. As many of you know, if you've watched the channel, I'm a big dirt bike enthusiast, motorcycle enthusiast, and this did happen on a motorcycle, um, specifically a trials motorcycle, which I got into riding trials a couple of years ago. I've ridden dirt bikes my whole life, but I got into trials riding a couple of years ago, and man, I got the bug really bad. It's like the most fun I've ever had on a motorcycle. If you're not familiar, a trials bike is much lighter. It doesn't have a seat, and good trials riders can ride things that just defy all human logic. They can ride humongous boulders, and they can jump up uh, 6, 8 foot vertical ledges, and it's really amazing kind of discipline of riding. And yeah, I got into it a couple years ago, got the bug really bad, and got a trials bike. And uh, anyway, yeah, this did happen on my trials bike. Um, yeah, last Saturday I had a couple of friends out to the ranch and who also ride trials in my area, and uh, people I ride with, and had three of my kids with us, and because I'm getting them into it, so they have little trials bikes. And we were just having a great time and enjoying the day and just having a ball riding. And I had an accident. Um, I attempted a maneuver that I've practiced quite a bit and have done a lot before, which is a stoppie, where you get a little momentum and you grab the front brake and the rear wheel comes up off the ground, and you can like ride a wheelie on the front wheel. It's like a nose wheelie. And so it's called a stoppie and a nose wheelie. And I've done a lot of them and practiced them a lot, and I'm pretty good at them. But I just went to do a simple nose wheelie on flat ground. I wasn't going fast or anything like that, and grabbed the brake, and the rear wheel came up, and I'm riding this nice wheelie on the front wheel, and all of a sudden I got over the balance point, went over the handlebars, which I've done before, and you know nothing bad's ever happened, and went over the bars and landed on my belly. And normally that would be the end of it. It would just be um, just a little tip over, and I'd get back up and keep going. Well, this time, um, it was just a series of events that were basically just bad luck. When I landed on the ground, my leg kind of landed and straddled a cow trail, and the bike came over and landed on my leg. And since my leg was across the cow trail, there was nothing under my leg. It was a dip in the ground, and the bike came down right above my ankle, and it just snapped my leg. Like I knew instantly, as soon as the bike hit my leg, I knew that it had broken it. And it was just a really unfortunate place to land, and that was it. It was again, I still don't see it as being a very difficult or dangerous thing that I was doing. It was just bad luck. So it broke my fibia in two places, clean break, and it broke my tibia, broke the bottom uh, edge, and I'm blanking on the medical terminology here, but the bottom part of the tibia joint that actually connects to the ankle, it broke half of that off, and then pushed the tibia over and dislocated it from the ankle joint. So it was a very bad wreck, very bad injury. And so yeah, I went to the ER. And my two friends that I was riding with, they were just laughing when I had the accident because they didn't appreciate how bad it was. I mean, that's how like innocuous this thing seemed like it should have been. They kind of went like when I went over the bars and landed, they were kind of like laughing, giving me a hard time, and then I looked up and I was like, guys, I just broke my leg. And then they looked at my foot, and my foot was 90 degrees off the wrong direction, pointed the wrong direction. And I knew it was broken. And then my friends quickly deduced that it was indeed broken. So at that point, it was not so much a laughing matter. But we gathered up and went to the ER, and I got the thing taken care of. And so now it's been a few days, and I'm just waiting for a surgery date. I'm gonna hopefully have surgery, get some pins and screws and plates and all that fun stuff, and get that done next week, and have this thing taken care of, and begin the healing process. So, needless to say, the Wyoming Way might be a little bit different of a channel going forward, and at least until I start that process and get, over the coming months, I will become more mobile and get into a walking boot, hopefully, and be able to get around. But as of the immediate future, this is going to be my lot in life. So, and I've been doing a lot of reflecting on that. I've been doing a lot of music. I've got my guitar, I've got my fiddle, I've got my mandolin here. My kids are all learning to play instruments, so they're in the living room here with me a lot of the time during the day when they're not doing school or when they're not helping with chores. And so we're doing music. That's fun. I've got a lot of help on the ranch. I've got all my family has rallied around, and they're going to take care of everything. Fortunately, like I'd say 90% of the cattle work was done when I had this wreck. We had all the preconditioning was done, all the gathering and shipping calves and weaning was done. We pregnancy checked all the cows and turned them to the winter pasture. That's all been taken care of. It's just some odds and ends left now at this point to take care of. And I've got lots of friends and lots of family members that are just doing an awesome job. I'm very thankful, and they're just going to step in and take care of all this stuff that is my stuff that I'm usually responsible for and that I do. So that is very fortunate. And then yeah, I'm doing some reading. I'm gonna have time to catch up on some books I've been meaning to read. I'm reading John Milton right now, Paradise Lost. This is a classic book. It's a poem, and it's all about the devil and God and heaven and hell, and I'm really enjoying it. It's very beautiful. Here's just a short passage. O Son, in whom my soul hath chief delight, Son of my bosom, Son who art alone, my word, my wisdom, and effectual might, all hast thou spoken as my thoughts are, all as my eternal purpose hath decreed. Man shall not quite be lost, but saved who will, yet not of will in him, but grace in me, freely vouchsafed. Once more I will renew his lapsed powers, though forfeit and enthralled by sin to foul exorbitant desires. Upheld by me, yet once more he shall stand on even ground against his mortal foe. By me upheld, that he may know how frail his fallen condition is, and to me owe all his deliverance, and to none but me. And it goes on. it's all about Satan being kicked out of hell and coming to the earth to wreak havoc on creation and man, and it's a poem of that subject nature. And so, what else? What am I? And so I have time now here over the coming months, and I'm over the even the past few days I've been reflecting on things. And one of the things I've been reflecting on is, why did this accident happen? Was this just a random accident that happened, over the course of life, and we these things happen um, just as a result of living and doing things, and sometimes you have a wreck and sometimes you get hurt? Or is there a deeper meaning to this accident? I had been spending a lot of time recently um, devoting myself really to riding motorcycles and thinking about motorcycles and working on motorcycles and spending money on motorcycles um, and just investing a lot of myself and my life into um, essentially a hobby. Uh, Now I do use dirt bikes on the ranch quite a lot, and so there is part of it that is out of necessity. And I'm very fortunate and blessed to be able to say that. Like I use dirt bikes in my job. It's part of how I make a living, but the trials part of it is really a hobby, and I tend to be somebody who gets really invested in things and get really excited about things and can be obsessive. And so I feel like maybe I had gone down that road the last couple of years, and maybe to the exclusion of or neglect of some of the things that I should have been focusing on instead, that would have been more productive to spend my efforts and time and energy on. And so maybe in a way this wreck is a gift from God. It's maybe a blessing. It's a chance to reflect and reevaluate and try to think about um, the trajectory of my life and how I do use my time and how I invest my resources and money and efforts, and the things that I'm really interested and excited about. Are those good things to be interested and excited about, or are they distractions from things that could be more fulfilling or more on point, more on purpose? Anyway, I don't have the answer to that. It's a part of the reflecting I'm doing. Um, I was using a lot of my spare time to ride trials and to play on the bike and learn skills, and it was a lot of fun. I was getting other people involved. I was getting my kids involved, and having a really good time with it. And I'm not saying there was anything on the face wrong with it, but it could be that this is God's way of giving me an opportunity to reflect and reset, and you know this is what I will be doing the next 3 months. Like there's no option. So I will use that time to reevaluate and think about my life and what's important. And I think uh, the greatest mistake we can make with our lives is wasting time and uh, getting off track and maybe getting distracted with things. I know that's certainly true for me. Maybe you can identify with that. But like, there's a verse in the Bible that says, "Redeem the time, for the days are evil." And hobbies are great. We all should have hobbies, but are we redeeming the time? Are the hobbies redeeming the time? Are we investing too much into hobbies or recreation or things that are not necessarily bad or evil, but can become elevated to a point where they displace other things that should be prioritized. So that's a question I believe we all have to confront and answer, and I'm going to be reflecting on that lately. And just because you can do something, should you be doing it? Like, I can spend time riding trials. I live on land, and I can literally step out in my backyard and ride the bike, and I have the resources to have a bike, and the time to, I have time in the evenings that I can devote to that, and I have, some disposable income on the side that I can kind of send that way. But like, I can do all these things, but should I be doing them? And that's a good question. I think that's a good question to reflect on and ponder on. So, will I be riding trials again? Will I ride the trials bike after this is all over? I don't know yet. Was it worth this injury? Was it worth sustaining this injury to ride a trials bike? In the grand scheme of things, probably not. This is a bad injury, and this injury might affect me the rest of my life. I might have arthritis in this ankle going forward, and maybe some stiffness issues. But so, was it worth it? I don't know. I'm just gonna think about that. And am I gonna ride again? I don't know. I'm gonna think about that one too. But I have the time to think about it. So anyway, thank you for listening to all this, and thanks for tuning into the channel. I want to know. I really like it when you interact in the comments. So I want to know, if you're still watching this point, what is one of the worst wrecks you've ever had? Maybe you've gotten bucked off a horse and drug along, or had a car accident or something, God forbid, or what is your equivalent of this situation? Something that happened to you that you couldn't believe happened, but it happened and you were injured. And what was it that happened, and how did you get through it, and what was it like to get through it? Because honestly, this is the worst I've ever been injured before in my life. So I'm curious to hear your thoughts on that. And with all of that, I want to play a song called The Church Street Blues that was written by Norman Blake and kind of made famous by the late, great Tony Rice, one of my favorite guitar players of all time. And there's just something about this song that kind of speaks to me right now in this moment, and I'd like to play it for you. I hope you enjoy. It's a little awkward because of my position here, but I will do the best I can. Church Street Blues. I've been hanging around uptown, Lordy, in that low-down rain, watching Good Time Charlie friends, this is driving me insane. And up on shady Charlotte Street, Lord, them green lights look red. I wish I was back home on the farm, Lordy, in my feather bed, where I got myself a rocking chair to see if I could lose these hard time, thin dime, hell on Church Street blues. Well, I found myself a paper friend and I read yesterday's news. I folded up page 21 and I stuck it in my shoes. I gave me a nickel to the poor, my good turn for the day. I folded up my old billfold and I threw it far away. And I got myself a rocking chair to see if I could lose these hard time, thin dime, hell on Church Street blues. And I wish I had some guitar strings and old black diamond brand. I'd string up this old Martin box and I'd go and join some band. But I guess I'll just stay here for now and I pick and sing a while. Try to make me a little change and to give you folks a smile. And I got myself a rocking chair to see if I could lose these hard time, thin dime, hell on Church Street blues. These hard time, thin dime, hell on Church Street blues. Hope you enjoyed that, folks. Thanks for tuning into the Wyoming Way. I'm going to come up with some kind of ranch content. Maybe I can get up on the hill and fly the drone around or something, and keep the channel going, keep the content coming. I might play some more songs for you all. If you have any requests, let me know. And other than that, thank you for tuning in. God bless you all, and have a wonderful rest of your day.